Welcome to the Accendo Traders Group. This is our video trade plan for Tuesday, May 13th, 2008. AccendoTraders.com. Effective trade plans delivered daily. And as we prepare ourselves for trading tomorrow, we want to check news and check the movement of today to make sure we're on the right side of our trades. Maybe raise or lower some stops. And as always, we want to make sure that we have time for our family and friends. Today in the market, we had what should have been a light day. We had a lot of news coming out today trying to impact the market, and some of it did, some of it didn't. We had today is Merger Monday. We had a little bit of merger news there with some news between Hewlett-Packard and EDS. This Clear Channel deal has been revived. It seemed dead a little while ago, but then again they were suing, so the court date has been pushed back for settlement talks to continue. MBIA talked about raising money after its loss, but one of the things that really sent the market down in the beginning of today's trade is the FedEx gave an earnings warning saying their profits are going to be lower than expected, and the market did initially stay down. But as we all can see, that this 9 out of 10 sectors up, market was up, and so certainly that's good for the bulls that they were able to withstand that push down from the bears and push the market higher. And finally, you can see that the analysts like what they heard at RIN's analyst meeting today, and they unveiled the new BlackBerry, I think it's called BlackBerry Bond. So we'll see. After the close today, we also had FLR crushing earnings there. And upgrades today, Apple was upgraded once again, CLF was upgraded today, and FDX and AEM were downgraded today. Tomorrow we have a host of news on the economic front. Most importantly, it's probably going to be that retail sales is going to be the biggest impact of what we have. Also, we have Walmart before market open tomorrow. We have WFMI after market close. Not as impact, but really that retail sales of Walmart before the market really has some big impact on what's going to transpire tomorrow. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our flag list from last night. This is not a list from last night. This is what I'm going to be looking at for tomorrow. So let's go to yesterday's list, and starting off with the Dow Jones. And again, what we focused on yesterday was that we had a test of the 200 and a pullback to support. And it's good to see that the bulls were able to fight off some of the negative news today and push the market higher. Hooray for the bulls. So it looks like we're going back up to test the 200. There's a NASDAQ. Here's the Dow Jones bouncing at key support levels. Same thing with the SPX. Bouncing at that 1385 key support level. So it does look like we're headed back to the 200. We'll see what happens over there. But what's important to note is that if you look at it, although not significant, but look at the volume going down. There's the S&P 500. Look at the volume going down. The Dow. Look at the volume going down. So we do need to pay attention to that. NASDAQ led the way, especially off of the upgrade on Apple and the RIM good news. So Baidu and Google had good days. Google had good news because of the video per views. They're dominating that. So again, with that, you can see kind of what we unflagged. Apple we're keeping flagged because it's just moving along and the target was raised. We have good news. We have a catalyst to keep this moving forward. Don't forget that the conference is coming up next month with the new iPhone being released. ACI we unflagged because we got divergence. Even though we like coal, didn't like this down day. AKS, gonna give another day for a wedge breakout. We'll see what happens. CNX, take a look at Alcoa. Somebody shared this with me today. Look at the day Alcoa had. I don't know if that's news, but we might be able to get some similar movement within the sector with CNX. So we're gonna keep that one flagged for right now. CLF, remember it splits on Friday, so we have a catalyst for this one to keep moving up, and we had the target raise or upgrade today, so it has a reason to keep moving. Even though energy and oil is pulling back a little bit, you can see CNX and CVX are hanging on. Now, either we're going to make a new high or we're going to have a failure of a new high and a pullback, so we can't guarantee which one's going to happen, but we'll test it out. FWLT, our wedge breakout, still waiting for that to happen. Georgie popped his head over resistance. Great job. And we're going to see how far this one can take us. And X, we're going to give this one another day to try to move higher. Real quick, and again, you can see what I unflagged, and I'm not going to go over too much why I unflagged them because of our time. But you can see we brought in Baidu, liking the fact that it looks like it's going back to 375. We brought back in Goldman Sachs. Again, the brokers are looking pretty good. Kind of have a template buy going on there, as someone said today. We got to be real careful about this 200 here, though, on Goldman Sachs. Brought back MTL. Remember, I unflagged it, but I like the data that it had. Keeping our alert up here around 162. Also liking NOV. Brought this one back in. You can see the indicators are looking okay on this one. Certainly above. Got a rising 3 going on here. Brought in NSC. Indicators looking good on this one. Breaking higher. Nucor. Bring this one in. Like to see it break back into this uptrend. But certainly we have a rising 3 pattern going on here. And PBR. Again, all the indicators. So those are some of the new stocks that we brought in today. Okay, so now we're ready to get into our educational portion of our video. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, Shift to Mental Analysis. And on our Week on Rapid Report yesterday, we were talking about, we were continuing our theme about our attitudes about the market and how we perceive the market. And more importantly, if we're not confident about the market or we lack discipline, that's typically what causes a lot of the negative trades to happen, because we don't see everything for one reason or another, and we act upon our emotions. Typically, that lack of discipline and proper focus is what causes our bad trades. When you operate from the assumption that the more information you get, the better you'll be, the more consistent you'll be, what do? You tend to go and find more indicators. You find more systems, and you try to overthink things. You try to overanalyze things, and yet with these new indicators, these new late-breaking technical analysis, even with these new things, we tend to still make bad decisions. We still tend to lack that discipline, and we're still disappointed, and we think that the market has betrayed us. Oh, but I learned ADX. Oh, but the Bollinger Bands were spreading, and what's going on here? And one of the things I used to talk about, especially with Bollinger Bands, is it's real important to have moving averages with that, and I promise to talk more about this as we go on. But with Bollinger Bands, if you use the 5-minute chart, this used to happen to me all the time. I would see the band spreading. I would get confirmation. I would get in the trade. 10 minutes later, I would get stopped out. And what I started to notice was that I need to not only watch the 5-minute chart, but I need to watch the 15-minute chart, because a lot of times the Bollinger Band breakout on the 5-minute chart will break out to the 20 on the 15-minute chart and then bounce. And so it looked great on the 5-minute chart, but it was not panning out on the 15-minute chart. But again, we'll talk more about that as well. Again, I really think it's more important that we focus on how we think about training, and once we're together as a group on that, we can get more on some of the technical side of what to look for and what not to look for. So confidence and fear are contradictory states of mind that both stem from our beliefs and our attitudes. To be confident, functioning in an environment where you can easily lose everything, you have to learn to trust yourself. And I'm going to say it again. Here it comes. How do we build this consistency? How do we build trust? We have to develop a trade plan. If you don't know why you're trading, if you don't know what sectors you're trading, if you don't know what you're looking for, you're just winging it. And then we can never be successful that way. I've done it. You just can't be successful when you're not focused on what type of patterns you're looking for, what type of breakouts you're looking for, what type of indicators are you looking for. We have to have a system in place so that we can trust it and let the system work for us. I know I say it over and over again, and I hope that it's resonating with you. But again, we've all been there. We've all, I shared yesterday about being with the group, and we jumped from system to system to system, and I went from 3 indicators and an ADX. I brought that in, and I was up to about 10, and I've shrunk it back down because, again, it's just like statistics. You can get statistics to prove anything. You can get indicators to prove anything. So again, we have to be confident in an environment that is uncertain, that has no definite outcome. But yet, when we're able to trust our system, more importantly, develop our system, we're able to stand strong and just say, you know what, didn't work this time, and let's go ahead and look for the next opportunity that our system presents us. So as always, to get the full version, the podcast always has more data into it, especially some of the new stuff. Like we had the market commentary for the first time yesterday on the Weekend Wrap Report from different blogs. I included that. Again, I always appreciate the feedback, and to get more about trade plans, go ahead and hit our blog. And as always, trade at your own risk. I'll see you guys tomorrow.